What's good? What's good? I think y'all should be able to see me now. Should be able to hear me. Everything should be good. All right, it's Monday. Back at the charts. So this is kind of what I was looking at for today. Now I had outlined this bearish order block here as well. You see right now we've hit that, and we have had a decent reaction off of that so far. But I see this is the new week opening gap that we have right now. We kind of just traded up to we'll say a middle of it, and then just traded down lower off rip. Now basically if we use this from there to there, right? This would be down into a discount of this range. I understand that this is a daily volume about our daily fair value gap. And what I'm watching though is because around the 4-hour close, if we leave it like this, I'm going to assume that we're gonna, without taking trading up here first, right? These lows right here look very suspect to me, but right now what we're seeing is, as of right now, some bullish support here. I'd outlined this order block, we traded down into it, came down to this one, showed some support here, and now we're inside of this order block here to 845, and want to see what response and everything that we're getting from there, right? From this candle, just kind of a little bit of what I wanted. I would have wanted a little bit more displacement away and then coming back down. Let's see if we hit this candle again. That's at 745. So I was kind of envisioning something like this, and then see if we can attack this buy side liquidity here, ultimately coming up into here, and see if we do that. Now, why I'm having that, because dollar for me hit a higher time frame array, and then we have this sell side liquidity here. So that makes me think that I want to makes me see, based off what's happening here, that price may want to trade a little bit lower, because even if we take this range, we barely came down to a discount. So not saying that it can still trade up higher just after trading there. That would show that would show strength on this. But even if we come down a little bit, I would expect potentially this mitigation block here to see price trade down into. So we'll see if that is allowed. If that is, then that would mean that the indices should be able to trade a little bit higher. Then this kind of goes with gold. I was hoping that we could come down here at the opening price. Now we didn't. I don't know if we even hit the high of it. So we didn't hit the high of this. This is kind of what I was looking at for price to trade down here, and then ultimately attack this buy side liquidity pool. So that kind of goes along with dollar. That's why I would be leaning more on the upside with this as well, because they should be going in the opposite direction. So with gold, I wanted to see this level get hit, honestly, the opening price, but it didn't give that to us either. I looked at the range, and so we had these equal lows here. We weren't able to trade deep enough for me to take a buy or something that I would look for. But yeah, we'll see. This is dollar. Gold has been looking a lot more cleaner to me and kind of following along with what I would be expecting. So I believe this is like the initial low of the day. I think we could still trade higher based off of how deep dollar can go. I think it should come take out this, but I think definitely this is in jeopardy right now. We just didn't trade low enough for that. But that's pretty much what I got with this. So we're gonna take this off, go to our blank chart, and kind of just go from there. That's what I'm gonna do now. So we have everything outlined on this right now. Yeah, so that's what it is. We're just gonna stay on the higher time frame. Now we did have what's interesting here. Let's note this. Right, we want to note when speakers are talking. So at 8 o'clock, there was a Fed chair member, someone spoke, right? So look at this low, look at this low. This one is higher, this one is lower. So we're noting that with it also trading to higher time frame arrays. That's why I like the idea of it trying to come up here, which is going along with dollar, trading lower. That's what we would be wanting to see. That's what we would be expecting. And so we're getting that. And here's the buy side. Remember, I don't believe that this is the high of the day. Liquidity pool. I don't think that's the high of the day. And then we have this gap up there, which we can note here. So we have this. So this is the new week opening gap here. It should draw a price there. Tripping. Y'all see it on there? I was about to say, like, I don't see nothing. So I believe that this is the low of the day. And that we'll be looking for us to target up here at least. I'm not looking at that order block as rejection. So yeah, that was my idea. Pre-market, I was honestly looking for lower prices. And then, you know, I said this order block right here will let us know. We were showing support, okay. Then we trade above, show support again. So it's letting me know that it wants to go a little bit higher. So that's fine. I'll adapt and go to that. We have this new week opening gap here. Definitely a target for us. So we will go in alignment with that. So again, we're seeing bullish order blocks. This is the easiest way to understand what's price respecting. Like, is this clean? I wouldn't say this is the cleanest, but what are we respecting? Bullish order blocks. We run through this one. Okay, we come up. We support here again, go higher, support here again, go higher. So minimum, we should be coming up here. Like, even if we don't draw all the way up to the new week opening gap, which I think would be the case, but if we're not able to do that, I think minimum we should be able to at least reach up to here. So that's kind of what I'm expecting right now. Yeah, this just looks not the best in my opinion. Visually doesn't look the best. But I'm watching this thing on Netflix. It's called Alone. It's like where people are out in the wild trying to, you know, go back to, I guess, those days. And this guy had an opportunity to shoot a moose. So he saw one. It was like 500 yards away. I like watching different things and seeing how they can relate to trading, but also just relate to life. And he had the moose. He started making these like calls, like moose calls. It started to walk away. Then it started coming towards him, and he started to like go and think about different ways and how he wanted to interpret. I would want to see this order block here hold, trade down into it, create something, so we know. Sorry. It may not give that to us, but that's what I'd want to see personally. But as I was he was making these calls, it started coming towards him and started walking away. But you started to see him try to like plan strategically. He didn't just like go out there and start shooting, because obviously he has a bow. He's not just going to randomly do that. You have to be more selective with your shots. And I kind of saw that with trading. Right? You have to be very, very selective on what you want, what it looks like, what you're willing to take. Because imagine if you're in like survival mode, you're not just going to be just throwing out shooting bows and arrows when you have a limited number. So I want to see a trade down to this 5-minute order block, honestly, but we may not get that. We may just expand higher. What we got here. So, but yeah, you don't just take your bows and arrows and just start randomly shooting them. Like, you want to be very, very selective about what you're doing and what you're looking for. And so that felt that for real. Honestly, I feel like that was a really, really good. So we traded up above London high, and then sorry, let me just finish that. So he didn't end up. The moose came closer. He shot twice and missed both times, and that's kind of where the episode ended. He's like, you know, I've done this enough times to understand and know that that was a really, really good opportunity that I missed. And you could just see what was kind of going on in his mind and how frustrated he was with himself over that. And you can kind of see that in trading, right? How that can be something that can really, 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 really mess you up long term if you allow it, you know. And obviously he's in the Arctic, so like that's food that could have lasted him for a long time. A long time. But so on the upside, we actually I just want to share that with you guys. Thought that was very interesting. But we hit the buy side liquidity pool here. We hit 6.5 and then 7 above the London high. That's normally what I like to look for. I still think we're gonna drop a little bit higher. Let's just look at dollar real quick. Okay, so dollar's going along with what we want. I'm sure gold is pretty close to what we were looking at. Yeah. So I think dollar's still gonna drive a little bit lower. 1 minute chart, I'm tripping. Wait, wasn't there a 5-minute order? Yeah, right there. Lord, protect me from my enemies. So gold's doing what we wanted to see. It just didn't trade low. Didn't trade low enough for the kid. All good. As long as we can see that happening again. I'm thinking dollar wants to trade down there, which gives us bullishness for this. So this goes in alignment with what we're looking for right now. It may not give us anything. Again, can't buy it up here. Can't buy it at premium prices. So we hit this, which is the low end of the gap, which is what we're looking for. But again, I still think that we want to probably try to trade up there a little bit. So again, this morning I was bearish. There's nothing wrong with putting out an idea. And if the idea doesn't work, well, that's great. Then you know to switch. That's what I've learned from this. Not just from this one, but just over the past. I also started adding in dollar in gold to help me get an understanding if I can't read this. Like if I can't read this well enough, that's what I do. Because that to me makes sense, right? If I'm unable to read what's going on right here, then I have to figure out something else that I can read that'll give me help on understanding this. Let's see. With a discount gap anyways, that also goes with our bias looking for higher. So we'd expect it to fill. So I'm liking, I'm not scared about this wick. I'm not saying, questioning what's happening. I like that. Ultimately, this is also some more buy side I was looking at. I don't think it's not, but I'm not looking at this as struggling accumulation to go lower. It can. Don't get me wrong. It can do just that. I want to see some expansion. See if we can target that. As until dollar starts reaching down here, that's kind of like what I'm going for. And then obviously this is trading higher, which is what we were expecting as well. So do a new 5-minute candle and trade down. That's fine. So this right here is a gap that, as long as we're not, like, we come back down to here, I'll go down to a smaller time frame to see if we're getting any support and reaction. So I'm not looking at this as wicking and then coming down here. It can, but that's not my thought process behind this. Also, no, it's not that time yet. But I'm looking at the 15-minute chart. So we hit that. That's a good sign. But again, I'm looking for higher prices. So I want to see. I mean, we hit this level, which is the new week opening gap, and then see what we're gonna get from here. So I think now it's traded down into the gap here. I want to look on the smaller time frame. I almost wanted to buy that, but I'm gonna wait for the smaller time frame to give me something, give me indication, or if we can inverse this. But I wanted to buy that right there. So with that reaction, I like that reaction right there. Order block, fair value gap. We hit this new week opening gap high. But I'm expecting us to see if we can trade up to this high ultimately. So our first initial target was actually hit, right? So want to see if we can create on the lower time frame a fair value gap to the upside. If we can do that, then I'll take something. So notice inside the 5-minute fair value gap, you have this 1-minute propulsion block. So that's a nice overlapping of price there on the 5-minute chart. So I'm gonna see if we can create, that's a nice expansion there. Again, I'm looking just for a fair value gap to form. If you trade down into that, then we can then I can start looking for things. But until that happens, there's nothing for me to do here. But that's a nice reaction. So that's a nice, I like that reaction. But again, now this would be an order block here. Closing above this. Have to close above that. Even though it's a nice reaction from there, I need to see us get above there. Until we get above there, there's nothing left. There's nothing I can do. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. This would be the lowest down close candle. What are we getting? So our initial draw liquidity was hit. There's this buy side there. This morning we could see that hit the new week opening gap. and obviously inside the daily volume imbalance. Keep calling it volume imbalance. Daily fair value gap. I mean, this looks clean though. Don't get me wrong. This looks very clean right now. I would have expected us to go a little bit higher. So we'll see though. But that obviously didn't trade above that. That's the order block that's inside this. It's in the upper portion of that. Okay, so there it hit the order block that we were looking for on the 5-minute chart. Trading back down into a 15-minute order block. This might be the reversal. Just looking at it trading down and cleaning that up. It's like that's what we're getting here. So that's a deep run, obviously, after hitting that. Oh, sort of. That's a deep run after obviously hitting this buy side liquidity pool, then hitting the new week opening gap, the low end of it. What I am watching though, so yeah, we took out obviously London high, and now it looks like we want to take out these lows here. After hitting a higher time frame array. So we trade up higher first. We took out buy side, which is kind of what the initial draw for me was. And look how deep this one is compared to ES right now. So looking to see if this is a stop run or we're gonna see continuation. I think honestly what might be a little bit better is waiting till 10. So we're still inside that range. From there to there, we're inside Friday's range right now. So this is still all internal range liquidity. There's been no external in terms of this range. So yep. Why I'm thinking 10, because that's when this candle closes. 4-hour candle closes then. So we've run through this gap. I'm pretty sure we've closed below it already, or we will. So we've already closed below this gap. So right now we've saw no support from this bullish order block. The 15-minute chart, again, we're still back inside of this candle. Still back inside this candle, which was my initial thought process of if this candle is supporting price, we should attack this buy side and then trade up into the new week opening gap. That was my thought process. Not looking like that we're going to get that now. So right now, these lows right here looking quite juicy, not gonna lie. So inside this range, at a discount into this gap here, right there. But it looks like it wants to trade a little bit softer. Basically from where we are. It's a 10-minute chart. And there's never a rush to get into the trade at any point. So for this candle still comes, it's still very important. 15-minute chart, we already closed below it. Not saying that it can't. This right here is a breaker block. Right now we traded down into that. At the okay. I think waiting towards 10 o'clock might be a better option. So from there to there, we got a nice trade idea. Pre-market session coming up there. Check dollar real quick. Time for okay, dollar's looking like it's trading softer. Gold did what we were looking for. Take a screenshot of gold. Sorry. So gold did what we were looking for. That didn't trade low enough. So again, yeah, I'm still thinking that this potentially might want to trade a little bit higher. This off. So I think the breaker block of the swing there. So this candle. That's what I'm looking at, especially if dollar wants to continue to trade softer. This should be going higher. Yeah, the gold trade was nice. It just yeah. Just didn't trade low enough. But that's what we were looking for. One side direction. Barely any pullbacks. That's what we like to see. I think this is a deep pullback. But there's specific things that we're looking for. So now we know that the macro is about to start. Breaker block there. down into this after hitting the daily volume imbalance, daily fair value gap with the new week opening gap there. So I'm waiting for higher prices personally if we can create some expansion from here. But we need to see that signature because I'm still believing dollar wants to go lower. So this is should be going higher. Also, we see SMT with the willingness to take this out. This one didn't do that. So that's why I'm looking at that still. I just want to see a fair value gap get created. I don't want to see it just start screaming all the way up here, if that's possible. I don't see this getting softer. Again, I just want to see a gap get created. Because I believe this is turtle soup. Yeah. I'm still looking up there, by the way. Oh shoot, I'm on the wrong one. I've been missing trades. Plus, I was on the wrong one. I will buy one if we can trade low, trade into that gap, and as deeper. If it goes deeper, I'll add more. Sorry, I didn't. A little deeper. I bought one. I'll buy another one there. Not sure why it's not showing up. Well, I tried to buy there. Not sure why it's not working. But that would be the trade idea that I would have going into it, expecting for dollar to be trading softer and this to be trading a little bit higher. That would be my thought process. I wouldn't look at this as, I mean, again, oh, there it is. Below here. This would be my trade idea. You can wants to close it. I'm not sure what's going on, but this is the trade idea. Like this. Again, it could be offsides, looking like that. But this is the order block that I'm watching in terms of what I would expect. Price to be holding and want to see that. And the reason why I'm looking for that is because I'm expecting dollar to go lower. This should be trading higher. And so that's just my thought process from that. How deep we are in this, I mean, I obviously don't like that, if I'm to be honest. But that's the I'm a little high in this. That's why I was adding as it traded down, but could be offsides on this. I could want to go clean all that stuff up down there. Looking like that. Yeah, so that's what I'm thinking is potentially going to happen. I think that this is going to stop me out based off of looking at these two. I mean, the fact that it's still staying inside of this is okay, but I wouldn't expect it to trade this deep. The way that it traded up here, how it failed to get up into that, that's what I would be expecting from this. But we'll see. The body's early staying inside, but just because how deep it traded down inside, that's what's more concerning in the trade than anything else. Yeah, I think this is going to be a stop out. That's not looking like that ain't looking like a stop run to me. But keep the trade on. Be looking for the session high right now, but I think I'm gonna get stopped out. But we'll see, you know. Keep the trades going, let them go. Yeah. I mean, if I could take this trade back, just entry wise, I'm not upset with what I did. Entry wise, I should be down here. I'm a little bit high. Even if I lose, that's not the issue. But yeah, this right there it doesn't look good, being honest. That should be closed outside of this gap. What's good, man? How you doing? It's going good, man. Just might have got caught off sides on this trade right now. I don't like how it closed outside this gap, if I'm being honest. Initially was looking at the buy side liquidity here to get ran. It did. It offered that to us. Then hit the new week opening gap. The issue that I'm seeing right now is this is not showing any support that wants to go higher. I saw us trade down to a breaker, come up, create this. I thought we could trade a little bit higher. So that's honestly what I was looking at. But I think this is going to stop me out. Just looking at what we're getting here. Because this should have already been kind of moving away. It's too deep in this order block, in my opinion, or anything. And this isn't showing rejection yet. So, but my stop loss has to be below this down close candle. Can't be uptight, right? We don't want that. Well, how's everything going for you, man? So my thought process is I'm most likely gonna get stopped out on this trade. And if that is the case, that's fine. We would just wait. Oh, it's 10 o'clock right now. So we'll wait till like 10:10 a little bit. And if it stops me out, we'll just flip and then trade down 12. Try not to trade today. Yeah, this isn't on my live account because we have what is it? I don't sorry. I'm just looking at the economic calendar. But this one is on my live account. It's Monday. I don't usually like trading on Mondays, just to be honest. But what I'm seeing here is like the pre-session was nice, right? I think it ran up to where we were looking for. Just for me, it's Mondays aren't my better days. Wednesdays usually tend to be my better days. But I feel you on that. This is very consolidated. Now, why I said potentially waiting till 10 o'clock. We traded down and we closed all this in actually. So I'm actually not upset about that. But this is what I was looking at after trading down to on the 15-minute chart. If we go down here, there's a breaker block right here. So we traded down into the breaker block, and I was using this swing. Now, where am I in terms of this range? I'm pretty high, right? I'm pretty high up in that. So I don't necessarily like where my entry is, but I put the trade on, so I accept the risk. And for me, it's just struggling a little bit more than what I would want to see personally. Usually in my trades, I either win very quickly or I lose very quickly. So I'm either in drawdown I either just taking out the trade in a couple seconds, or the trade's never really in my entry for very long. So I know when I'm in drawdown a lot, I've either bought too high or too low. That's just what that tells me. And then obviously high resistance, liquidity, and signatures. It also tells me that as well, right? So again, initially I started off with bearish bias today. Then when we traded up into here, I was like, oh, maybe we could potentially see if we can go a little bit higher after trading a little bit lower. And we took out this sell side, which I don't think, yeah, which S&P hasn't, but it looks like it wants to. And so a lot of my bias from today, at least earlier on with us trading up higher, came from dollar. Dollar to me looked like it went trade lower. Gold did what we wanted. It just didn't trade low enough for entry. So those are the things I was kind of looking at. But yeah, Monday is usually for me not my better days, but you know, we're sitting in a little bit of drawdown right now. And honestly, this is I wish I could take back the entry and have it just be lower. Not that I'm trying to get down here or anything or at the open. What I mean by lower is like if I take this range. Honestly, I should have taken this range. And I'd still be in the same spot. Whether if I lose or not, that's not the issue. For me, it's like, okay, where that isn't ideal. There we go. Yeah, so I should be stopped out right now. But it's gonna delay and lag. Hey, appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, I try to have everything be very, consistent, so I got stopped out there. So I think we're gonna end up obviously trading a little bit lower after hitting that. So on the 4-hour chart, to take these things off. Hold on. Yeah, I can see this right now. So on the 4-hour chart, okay, so 5-minute chart, we did that. Here's some displacement here as well. And so this is probably the next, well, not probably, that's the next logical level that price would want to be reaching for. So what I want to see now we may not get it. What I want to see now is this. That's what I'd want to see. So if we can trade up into that on a higher time frame, I'm gonna trade up into that on this time frame without obviously running down there first. That's something that I would look for. After this would be a mitigation block. I mean, obviously it'd be down here, but I like this level specifically if as long as obviously we don't rush down there before. Now if we trade down there before, then really nothing else that can be done, in my opinion. So yeah, that's pretty much like what I'm looking for to see now based off like what happens. So if we can trade up higher without just screaming down here, then that would be lovely. But I don't know if it's going to offer that because of where we are. So high, low, lower, high. This right here is a mitigation block. But I specifically want this gap at 10.04. If we can try that, I'll take like, since I think I was trading with 2, I'll take 1. Trade up into that. Because we've gotten the support here from there to there. So that's what I would be looking at. It just did it. So this could be a day that could be very, very choppy. I'm just not even gonna hold you on that one. Only reason why I'm saying that is because I'm seeing it right there. We'll see. So trade up into this gap, and after this, like even though it's demo, it doesn't matter for me. I wouldn't take anything else, right? Because at this point, it's giving me, if I'm conflicted, I just stop, right? There's no point into like one day it's not gonna ruin it, live or not. It doesn't ruin. I'm not gonna let it ruin my mental state, right? So I like this, and that's kind of how I would play this. This is a, let's see, hold on. Low is this down here? This should be it's like the midnight opening. Yeah, so it's there, and then pretty much when you put our trade on, then like that's it, right? There's nothing else that can be done, at least on my side. I pretty much have to sit and submit to what happens. Trade. Because if we hit up here and we fail this and I was wrong here on the buy, this should be drawing down here. That would be the next logical level that price should run to. So that would be it. Because we've hit the London low, which is, yeah, so right there. So I guess I only have one. If I had, like at this point, let's say I traded with 5, let's say 4, I trade with 4. If I trade with 4 micros, and then this low right here, because I've lost, I would take one off here. So what it would look like is like I'd have here, only have 1. That's why I can't do that. But this would be a partial. Oh, this one I don't think I have it. So partial would be taken right now. So that'd be my partial taken because I've already lost. So that's how. But since I only have 1, I can't do that. But that's how I would. I think I had 2 or 3. So I would pay myself now, and then whatever that would be. I don't want to move this up. I'm not sure how much that would be, but that's how I would kind of look at this right now. So I would have 1 booked now, and then I would be willing to let the stop. I would lower the stop a little bit, not too much. Like I wouldn't jam it down here to to break even, because if I could take something off there, which obviously I can't because I only have one, I'm willing to reduce the risk a little bit, still above this gap, not right above this high, but still into this gap. And that's kind of how I would do this trade, because I don't have the ability to take one off. That's how I'm internalizing everything right now. And I think it was like what, 160 something. So this wouldn't even bring me back, but that's not the goal. Is not to just bring me back. It's to recoup some of that if it's logical, right? So again, this would have been a partial. Oh, there it is. So right now, I don't like the way that this is, like going below the low, coming back up. This might be the original thing that I was looking for in the beginning, but I can't. There's nothing that I can do at this point, at this moment right now. Right? It's still above this gap, and that's about it. That's it. But as deep as it's trading up into these gaps right now, so like that for me is like, this one's fine. We didn't complete it, but we're consolidating. Then we expand below again with this target here. We come down, come back up again. Now this has to like pretty much cover that entire candle. That's what I'd want to see if we're gonna go lower, and just visually looking at it. That's how I would do it. Because I was watching ICT's mentorship yesterday, his 2021 mentorship that I was in. He talked about how if you're jamming your stop loss up and stuff, or struggling with that, he's like, most of the time you just want to leave your stop loss where it is. And if you're worried about those things, he just said take partials. So if you're worried about your stop loss, take more partials. Unfortunately, I only have one. I can't take off anything, right? That's why I personally don't like trading with just one. But since I lost with two, that's just the only reason why I did it, right? It's just more of practicing that in trading. But he talked about how you want to take partials if you're struggling with your stop loss, and so you don't worry, so you're not worried about jamming it up. So this was the first partial just in my mind. So I would want to see, like, I wouldn't partial here personally. I would reduce my risk a little bit more with this because I wouldn't expect it to come back up. That would just be my thought process. So after this low, we need to get through this first. Yeah, see, I don't like how this went lower and that did not. But what I'd want to be seeing is expansion below this low. Like, I don't want to, if it can get down there, it may not even be able to get down there. That could be a issue, but I think that the draw is still here with these lows. That's my understanding now, based on what's happened. What was this? There we go. So, because what usually ends up happening, again, this could still come up and stop me out. I don't know. Like, once I'm in a trade, I put on a trade for a reason. After that, there's nothing else that I can do. But if it can get below this low, it would have to expand, because this right now is creating SMT, what I don't like. But there's still some room down there that I think that it can trade down to with good framework. But you see how we're kind of still like, there's a lot of stalling right now, right? Those are trades I'd rather give up on a day like this and try to force something than days where it's just running smooth, quickly, no problems, and then just does what you normally expect in price, right? These days happen. But I can't tell you exactly every single day which one's gonna be high resistant, low resistant. I can look at the economic calendar and we can, you know, have an idea. But again, there's been days where I've been trading where I was expecting low resistance liquidity run signatures and it was everything but that. Then there was days I was expecting high resistance and it was everything but that. So like it gives us a framework that I can run with or go with. But outside of that, like that's all I have, right? Again, this stalling right here, I don't like personally. But the fact that the bodies didn't close outside. What is this, by the way? Oh, this is an order block, a higher time frame. It's the opening price. I'm like, what? I'm like, what is that actually there? Um, yeah. So, but yeah, this is struggling too much for me for that. Order block there. This would be technically a breaker, high, low, higher, high. But yeah, I think it's Kwame. How long have you been trading for? A long, drawn out trade. Oh, pretty new. So about 3 months. Okay, wow, yeah. It's pretty new. So I'm assuming that you know some like ICT con concepts or I like that ideology, I guess. What I'm trying to say. Yeah, this is problematic for a short in my in my opinion. Yeah, learning that now. Okay, cool. Um, so I've been trading for 5 years. So like what I would tell you to do, and like trust me, like everything he tells you to do, I would do that. Everything he tells you not to do, I would not do that. That's just my personal experience. I was in his paid mentorship and I did everything he said not to do. That was my experience. So yes, I sat there. Mostly strategy hopping. Okay, so mostly strategy hopping. Okay, yeah, I've done that as well. I did that plenty of times. So my suggestion to you would be like I would like go through price and he had us do it on a 5 minute chart. So I would do something very similar to like, and I'm actually doing this now again as well. But like go on a 5 minute chart. How far are you into the actually sorry, how far are you into his the like core content? You know much about that, like the kill zones and stuff? Just way too much stalling right now. Way too much. Like how what months have you gone through have you gone through all the 12 months? I would assume not yet. Maybe you have, I don't know. Yeah, this is issues. Spending way too long in this gap. Not yet. Okay. So what I would say is first before you start trying to find a strategy, what I would tell you to do is go through all the 12 months. So those the I think so like yeah, the core content ones that he has like month 1 through 12. I would go through all of those before you start trying to before you start trying to find your strategy because you may like something right now and then not like it later on. So you don't know that. You don't want to kind of like form fit yourself into that. And I think like if you go over all those 12 months, it then gives you a better idea or a better understanding of what you'll like in the trades and what you won't like, what catches your eyes and stuff like that. That would be my suggestion to and I would go through on like a 5 minute chart, like outlining and like I would do this, yeah. stopped out. I would do this like multiple times. I would do like from, I don't know why I didn't get stopped out, but from midnight to what do you like? You like trading indices and stuff, or are you just looking? I don't know. I would do midnight to um 12. I would start there. Do midnight to 12 or midnight to 2 p.m. And then so when you have midnight to 2 p.m. on that, I don't know why this didn't get me out. I'm just gonna close it. Doesn't matter. Um, when you have midnight to 12 p.m. I'm sorry, midnight to 2. I'm sorry. Mark out midnight New York time to 2 New York time. And then what you want to do is on the 5-minute chart, like mark out what you see. So even on this right now, I'm just not gonna hold you. This is gonna be probably gonna consolidate most of the day. Just looking at that. But what you want to do is like I'll do one right now just on stream. Let's do Friday. Let's clean this off. Yeah, I can clean this off. So try to take a buy. It failed. Try to take a short. It failed as well. Potentially thinking that it could want to go on the upside based off of, again, what dollar's doing. Dollar should be trading lower. So gold did that. So I'll do it on gold right now. I think there's a lot of, I don't want to say issues, but I think a lot of the things people are stopping people from taking gold. So gold planned out like how I was looking at it. We'll just kind of go through it again and kind of show you how, like, what I'm doing. Like, I do this every day, even though I've been trading for 5 years. So we'll do the 2. I know today's not over yet, but this is how I was able to get pretty close to what I was looking at for a buy. It just didn't trade down there. So then what you want to do is you mark out the opening price. Be there. So we're going to 5-minute chart. So ICT talks a lot about here, let me show you this before I do this, so you understand what I was doing. Download. Okay, cool. So this right here, if you can see this, oops, that's not what I meant to do. Can you see this on my screen? Make sure you can see that. Can you see on my screen? Can you see this is gold on the 15-minute chart? Yeah, okay, so you see that? So this is gold on a 15-minute chart. I think I took this at like 8:40 a.m. So I wanted to see it trade down to here and trade up to this buy side liquidity pool. If we go to the 15-minute chart, same thing. So here's the order block that I want to see it trade to. It just didn't trade low enough and then ran up to the buy side, which is what I was looking for. That's what gave me an indication that I should be looking for buys with NQ. Just didn't get that. But dollar traded up to a higher time frame array and then displaced and then equal lows and all that stuff there. So what I would tell you to do is, like, this is every single day. This is what you should be doing. And this is what I'm still currently doing. So here's the opening price. You want to note and outline each kill zone. So from 2 to 5, that's London. You want to outline from 7 to 9. All right, it's from 7 to 9. And then you want to note, oops. Then you want to note from 10 to 12. So once you do that, that's all that you want to do. And then in this price action, Sorry, we're on the 15-minute chart. On inside this price action, I want you want to note everything that you know currently, like right now. So I'm not gonna say everything because it's not to like hold back information from you. It's just so when you start to realize and you start to see things, it's gonna start popping up in your head, and you're gonna do this every single day. And so as you're watching his content, so month 1 content, you'll know certain things, you'll start noticing certain things. When you go to month 2 content, then month 2 content will start making sense, because right now I can start talking about all these things that don't make sense to you. It's gonna add more confusion to like where you are, where you currently are. And so again, like simple things, OTE. London low, we expect the low of the day to form in London, or high of the day expect in London. Since I was looking for dollar to go lower, that means that this in my mind would be the low. Okay, cool. So all I did was take this to there. Below 50% is where we buy. Happens right at what time? 9. Why is this not on 9? Happens at 9 o'clock. Trade down. There's a lot of stuff over here, but I was looking on the 15-minute chart. Again, the high of the order block, it just didn't trade low enough. Like it was off by I don't know how much. So it didn't trade low enough. So when you're going through your charts and you're doing that, that's what I would suggest you to do. Is every single day. It doesn't even matter if you like I don't see anything here. Don't force anything, but then say, okay, I see this order block, it expanded away. Okay, I would be looking to buy at inside the London, I'm at the New York Open, and then that's it. And you mark all this stuff up in here as if you took the trade live. That's how I would tell you to do it. Because that's what I'm doing right now. So, but yeah, that's the, yeah, no problem, man. That like, you just talk about everything that you see. Don't try to pick a strategy and force it in there. Just be basic. I understand that this is a stop run. Okay, the stop run occurred at what time? 9 o'clock. What time is New York Open ends then? That's a good time to buy. It's a good time to buy at 7. Is a good time to buy at 7:15? No. Why is it not a good time to buy at 7:15? Well, at 7:15 we were still in a premium. So like you talk as like in your journal you'd be typing, or like you'd be typing out why you would not buy at 7:15 versus why you would buy at 9 o'clock or maybe even 8:15. If that was what you were looking for, why you would even do that. Because then when you see this real time, you're going to remember that the stuff that you put in your journal. So that's what I'm doing, and that's what I wish I would have done 5 years ago. I didn't do that. I rushed through all his content, filled my mind with all his terminology, but then couldn't use any of the terminology that he was putting out there. So that was my issue. I could tell you this, that, and the third, but I couldn't use it. And that's usually what ends up happening with a lot of ICT traders, is they have a lot of information, but they don't know how to use it. So yeah, just stay like where you currently are. Go through the top 8. Already passed over 8 evals, but blown almost all but 2. Yeah, see? It's like it gives, because like when you watch him trade, you watch him talk about it, like the issue with watching ICT concepts and stuff is like they seem very easy, and then like you feel like you can get into it very early on, and but then there comes a point in time where your knowledge surpasses your experience. So you look at things that look normal to you in a normal day, but the day is not normal. There's a lot of manipulation in it, and then you equate that to your knowledge. So then what you do, you go back into price action, and then you try to learn more and more and more and more and more, versus like, and again, there's nothing wrong with learning more, but if you're combining 15 of his terminology or concepts, it's going to make it so hard to trade. That's what I did. Yes, I mean, I was passing accounts left and right, and then like I'd get them, and I'm like, you know what, this looks just like that trade that I passed on, and unfortunately it wasn't. That's not how that trade panned out. So, but yeah, see, I don't feel like getting back in and moving anything, but look at that gap there. It traded up to the rejection block. You do have this low here. still. But just look at this. I'm not like, I don't want to do anything with this right now. I don't even care if it goes down here. I don't even care if it goes up there. This, just looking at this price action doesn't, I'm not interested in. Even if, again, even waiting for this, like, I don't even want to sit in this. It's doing too much pulling, too much pullbacks for me. Right? I don't even want to sit in this. I wouldn't even be like, oh yeah, I got it. Right? Even sitting here. I mean, is it better than taking 2 losses? Yes. But is this a trade that I'm like, man, I'm so glad I took this one? No. I'm not. Even with catching it up here, I'm still not. So I'd rather just let those days go and not try to force anything. Even with, gold did what we were looking for, but it just didn't trade low enough. So that's it. But yeah, I'm gonna appreciate you for stopping by, man. I'm gonna hop off. I gotta do my end of day stuff now, and yeah, I'll be on tomorrow, same time at like 9:20. Yeah, 9:20 EST and stuff. But yeah, I appreciate you for hopping. You can always hit me up on Instagram. I think it's Pip. Oh no, I am Brandon Polk. It's at the bottom. So if you hit me up there, message me. I'll follow you back on that. Yeah, again, just got stopped out. Even if I left my stop where it was, I would have taken a full stop hit there. Doesn't make sense. I'm not gonna have my stop up there. There's no shot. No shot. But all right, I'll catch you guys. I'll catch you, man. And if you hit me up there, we can definitely continue this conversation. So, all right, peace out, man. Hope you have a great day.